Hello.
What's up, Alex?
What's happening?
We've had Old Man Volk, we've had Builder Volk, and now we have rock singer, music producer Volk. I'm curious where the idea for that one came up, and was those your vocals on the skit?
Nah, not my vocals, unfortunately. I wanted to actually do that. I wanted to, hit some notes and show you my many talents, But, it was good. So we're always going to do a skit, and have a bit of fun with it. Sportsbet do a great job with that sort of stuff. It's always fun. And then after, the singing, we've secondhand serenade. I thought, you know what? They wanted to touch on that, and I was like, that's a great idea. So having a bit of fun with it.
I feel for a lot of your fights in your career, you felt discounted and, Holloway's going to beat him or Islam's going to wrestle him and all this sort of stuff. But now, after the two losses, coming back from the time away, does it kind of feel more than ever like, people, not in a negative way, but they're just really hoping you don't lose at this point, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, you know what I mean? And it's easy. I'm always, I love being the underdog, right? I'm always like trying to find ways to, see people saying things so I could use it as fuel. And I don't need to do that, right? Like everyone has every right to think that. I'm coming off, they talk about the age thing and then coming off a big break, coming off 2 KO losses. So, everyone has every right to think that, and I'm going to change their mind this weekend. So it's that's all it is. So it's weird. It's because I am, a lot of people are doubting me. But like usually I'll be like, a bit spiteful about it, if that makes sense. But now I'm like going, I get why you think that, but I'm going to show you. So it's still, I still have that, something to prove, but I'm not angry about it, if that makes sense. So it's like, I've got to prove it. I'm going to prove it to myself and I'm going to prove it to the world.
I saw some images of you training last night, and I have to say you look incredibly shredded for this one. When you took that time off, I know you started living family life, you got the farm and everything. When you started getting back into training, was there a moment where it was like, oh yeah, I am actually a fucking killer as well? And how was the training camp to prove that?
Yeah, it was good. It was good to just grow outside of the sport and just spend a lot of time on that. Was great. The question was, am I going to flip the switch going back to that fighting? So that's why I wanted to do the camp early. So I could really do that. And yeah, you're right, man. This is the leanest I've ever been. I really wanted to get my percentage body fat, to be honest. I think it would be, definitely the lowest it's ever been. So it's 16 weeks of just hard camp, man, and real discipline. Didn't have a drop of alcohol the whole 16 weeks, not even a cheat meal. So I guess you could say I went above and beyond. The work ethic's always there for me, right? The intensity in training, physically, I'm always putting it in. So you're never going to top that because I'm always topping it. I can't go any harder than what I do. But things that I could have worked on is maybe try and focus a little bit more on whether it's recovery, but dieting, and things like that, and just being that little bit more disciplined. And I was I followed the diet, Geordie, the fight dietitian, followed that to a T, literally from well before camp. I usually, I'll follow it a bit, eat what I want, and then the weekends do whatever I want, follow it again, and then really buckle down the last, 4 or 5 weeks, if that makes sense, and just do that little bit bigger weight cut. Where this time I was able to literally get rid of a whole kilo and maybe even more of fat, you know what I mean? So, very, very happy where we are. I haven't kept a shirt on whole camp, so it's pretty good. Very, very happy and proud of myself because I went above and beyond on this one.
Obviously, you shaved your head. If you could have hair, but it could only be Diego's hair, would you grow it back?
I mean, any hair I wouldn't. This is my new look, man. Like as I was saying, we could go do a trip over there to Turkey or something like that, but I ain't gonna do it. This is my look, so all good.
Alex, right here. In the UFC countdown, when you were reflecting on your last fight against Ilya, you used the phrase, I think, that it was more of a freak reaction defensively when you were facing him. So what does that feel like when you're in there to have that, as you say, a freak reaction defensively on your end?
I don't know if freak reaction was the right way of putting it. It was just, I knew that, it was just at a time where I'm like, all right, now we need to start adding stuff. The shots are there, but you're getting pretty hesitant and sort of when I say defensive, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, I didn't want to follow up because, anyway, I don't want to get too much into it, but it was just, I was like, all right, we need to start doing more. Like, just talking to myself and just wouldn't do it. But yeah, that's obviously you got a powerful guy like Ilya in front of you. You got things like that coming off the losses, coming off the knockout victory. Coming off a knockout loss, stuff like that. Maybe it was you. No one could have told me that before the fight though. People were like, oh yeah, it messes with your confidence and all this, and I'm like, bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way anyone could have told me that. But maybe I did fight that. A little bit different than what people are used to, which I think was pretty obvious. But the fight was still going. Good. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, but you were winning the rounds and all that. But you got a good fighter like Ilya in front of you. You start making, having patterns and doing the same thing. Someone's going to capitalize. A guy like him is going to capitalize, and he did. So full credit to him. When I say that's not taking anything away from him, I'm just more upset about myself.
Did you think it would be Diego welcoming you back after this time off?
No, I always thought it was going to be Ilya. We had the face-off. I thought that's what it was going to be. But, I got the next best thing, in Diego, a young, hungry guy. I wanted to prove myself to the younger generation in Ilya, right? Everyone's the new school and all this. So that's a big part of the story, right? Not only getting that win back, but, just showing that, everyone's going to say you're old and all this type of stuff. I'm like, I'm going to show you, you know what I mean? When I come back, it's going to be big. But, I don't get Ilya, don't get that win back just yet. But I get the next best thing. It is for the vacant belt. And it's against a young, hungry, new prospect, So a lot of people are hyping him up and thinking I can't do it. And I love this position.
Do you see a bit of yourself in him? Because, he made his debut on short notice against Movzar. He took that fight against Ige on a couple hours' notice. He flew all the way to Abu Dhabi just to weigh in as a backup like you did. And now he wanted to get back in earlier after the Ortega fight. Do you see a sense of, how you came up, kind of mirrored how he got this shot? Yeah,
well, for sure. I think he did everything right. That's what you want opportunities, to come your way. That's the way you do it. People are going to be like, oh, risk. Yeah, it is risk. But, there's big opportunities when you take risks. That's why I guess he's always ready, always in good shape, just so we can take these opportunities. And look where it's got him. There's a lot of people that are sort of in his position, as in could be next. And he was a guy the UFC wanted because he did everything right. So, I can see a lot of that. He'll fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. So, full respect to him.
And you got your title shot after beating Aldo in Brazil. Obviously, you beat up Yair. So, you beat up a Brazilian legend. You fought a Mexican legend. Now you're fighting a guy that represents both countries. So, I guess, how's the fan reception been that you're fighting a guy that both of these countries kind of claim?
Fine. There's... no malice. I think everyone loves us both. Everyone's got a lot of respect for him, a lot of respect for me, and I haven't heard much at all. To be quite honest. So it's good.
And just last one for me. Have you run in a pit bull? Because you was joking here about that $1 million bet you kind of joked about. I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Actually I did say obviously you're going to say things on the mic, but behind closed doors you're shaking hands and saying hello. But it's if he does his thing, we don't need to talk it up. He does his thing in an impressive fashion. He's got a tough, guy in front of him. If he goes out there, mate, I'm sure the UFC are going to you look at him as maybe his next as well. So you could be seeing it pretty soon. With this $1 million thing that he's talking about, I don't even know if he's serious about that. I think a lot of that is just trying to hype up to get the fighters. Mate, just put on a performance. You get the fight. You don't need to cut the bullshit, I'm a big fan of Yair Rodriguez. He's a good dude, but whoever wins. If Yair wins, all right, happy for him because I like him. If people wins, at least I've got a fight probably coming soon. So I'll be happy, I guess, with both.
Alex, right here. Yeah. Coming into this fight, a lot of narratives, the 35 or older one that's been discussed before. Fighters who come into title fights off back-to-back losses, 1-5, never won an undisputed title. Randy Couture got an interim belt in that spot. And then some people seem to think the training videos with Nina Drama have a bit of a connotation to them. If you overcome all of that and win, is this your greatest achievement on Saturday?
Well, it is the greatest achievement, just look at I've never been in this situation before, right? I've never come off such a big break. I've never come off 2 losses. So it's definitely the biggest fight. It really is the biggest fight of my career, you know. And everyone's going to go, oh yeah, like you've done enough, but I haven't. I can do a lot more, and it starts this weekend. You know what I mean? It starts on Saturday, where this new title reign is. When you talk about legacy, and it doesn't get much bigger than this. The comeback is going to be real. This is ship. You know, people write books about, movies about, and we're going to do it all Saturday night.
And just last night, news came out Aaron Pico has signed with the UFC. A lot of people excited about his addition to the featherweight division. I know if you're champ, he'll have a lot of work to do, but what do you just think of him coming in, another potential fresh name?
Obviously know of him. I've seen some highlights. I don't know too much about him, but seems to be a bit of a hype, so it's good. I love it. You know, you got people talking about people talking about this fella. You know, you got a lot of guys. You know, you got even undefeated fighters. You got so many up and comers. I mean, the division is pretty stacked right now with a lot of hot prospects. You know, Silva coming up as well, doing his thing. It's cool time to be champ, and I will be, and I'll have a lot of defenses ready because I want to be that same active defending champ that you guys remember. That title reign, that next title reign is going to be good.
Alexander, we talked about Ilya going up. Were you surprised at all that he went up and didn't hang on to the title, that he vacated and went this route?
I was pretty surprised with him vacating. I knew he wanted to chase the lightweight title and move up. I heard him saying that, but I didn't think he would give up the belt that easy. I thought he would try and hold it. So that's why you got to have respect for that. Like for him to not want to hold up divisions. Look, I got to a point where obviously I wanted that fight back. I wanted to get that win back. It got to a point where I'm like waiting, because I was hoping to fight, a bit later last year, even October, maybe December-ish. So it was starting to drag on. So I got to a point where I was like, all right, if he's going to wait around, I'll do an interim against someone and then we'll fight. It got to that point. And so it wasn't a surprise that he moved up, but surprised that he vacated. So I knew that it was going to be Diego at UFC Sydney. And I didn't know if it was interim. I didn't know Ilya's situation. So I heard that on Dana's live as well. So I was quite surprised with that.
And then,
but full credit to him, you know what I mean? You got to give him a lot of respect. I obviously still want that fight back, but I let him do his thing. He's committed to this. Let him do that. I plan on being that active defending champ that I said. Once he's done his fight, if he was to win the belt, imagine us running it back. Both champions after me having this little title reign. I'm expecting to have a couple of fights by the time he fights. To be honest, that's how active I want to be. So you could just imagine how big that rematch could be. So. Getting that win back, is still an opportunity not too far ahead.
Then going back to the music video, how important is it to be able to have fun at this point of your career?
It is, man. It is. I enjoy the acting, to be quite honest, and especially with sports bet and that, they do a great job. But it's good because I've always went through the motions, and I started growing. Like you can see in the last couple of years of me really starting to be myself. But I really, over that little break, I really got to work on myself even more. Just be myself. And I feel like I'm taking that into this week. So I'm not only just the fighter answering these questions. It's Alex answering these questions too. That sort of hard to explain, but it's good. So I feel like I'm going to really enjoy the process, especially the victories and all that type of stuff. I usually just win. I'm like, it's a bit of relief. And then I'm just ready for the next one. Or you get what I mean? I'm like, I don't really get to properly enjoy the situation or understand what I've done. I'm going to be able to do that this time, and I can't wait. I think I'm going to be very, very happy, and I'll really enjoy the after party and the weeks with my family, and even just enjoy taking that belt back to my team, to my training partners, my supporters. And obviously my family and that. I can't wait to take that back and properly enjoy it as a family man or as myself, rather than just oh, you're bringing it back and, are ready for the next one. And it's hard to explain, but I think I get to really enjoy and appreciate this moment, especially when I get my hand raised.
You mentioned enjoying the acting. Was there any one role in that video that you preferred? I think there was a Kurt Cobain and Iron Maiden.
Kurt Cobain, yeah, there was a few there. I like the country singer one, you know what I mean? That's, me being on a farm now. I'm getting used to that cowboy hat, so yeah, a bit of fun.
Thanks.
Volk, speaking of your family, you and your wife, Emma, have been together for about 20 years. What type of advice did she give you during...
Oh, sorry, there he is.
No, you're good. You and your wife, Emma, have been together for 20 years. What type of advice did she give you during your rugby career, and how has that advice changed as you've went into MMA?
She's backed me from the start. You know what I mean? You could imagine the sport when I started, it wasn't big in Australia. A lot of people didn't really know what it was. Family and friends are like, what's this thing he's doing? When's he going to give it up and get a real job? You know what I mean? And that's no lie. I'm sure a lot of fighters went through the same thing at some point in their career. And but she backed me the whole time. There was a time where I was chasing the dream. She was working, and I was doing a bit of concreting and obviously fighting as well. And then there was time where I committed that little bit more to fighting. And yeah, she was. She had my back. She backed me, and had my full support, and it was great. And that means a lot, especially when you're chasing the dream. There was it's going to be tough times. A lot of any athlete early days is going to struggle. So that's where you're at. But we stuck to it with the commitment and the backing of her, and we got it done. Now we're going to be able to really enjoy it through that process. Another thing, right? Like I'll talk about back here with the question where I'm like, I'm going to be able to sort of really enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like we've done a lot, obviously blessed to be in the position I am. I don't feel like I got to enjoy it through that process, but that last year I had off, I really was able to enjoy it. And very, very happy where things are, and can't wait to go and do my thing, this new title reign, and just really enjoy it or soak it all up and enjoy it with family.
G'day, Volk, mate, down the middle here, mate.
How you going?
Yeah, good, mate. Aussie MMA has never been in a better spot than it is currently. You got yourself fighting for the belt this week. We've got Jack Della next month. There's young blokes coming through every division. What is it about Australia that we just punch above our weight, overall?
Yeah, we always do, mate. That's it. You know what I mean? I feel like I've always done that, and I feel like that's just the Aussie way. You know what I mean? And it's pretty a crazy position we're in right now. Like I'm getting my hand raised. I'm getting my hand raised this weekend, and Jack will do the same. By the way, he's got a YouTube channel as well. Go give him a shout. Go give him a subscribe. And a like. But yeah, he's obviously very well-rounded, great dude. I was very happy to have him in camp as well. I was able to get some good rounds with him. So he helped me through camp, which is great. And hopefully we'll be able to help him get ready as well. So massive things coming. You can see it growing so much. We don't have a champion just yet, but this weekend we will. And, within a month having 2 champions is just insane.
It is. And with the new singing Volk going viral on the internet, any chance after you win the belt on Saturday you pull out a Tyson Fury and bust out into song in the middle of the cage?
You never know. Yeah, we'll see if the mood strikes. Maybe. I think so. I think, maybe. What song do you reckon?
Shit, that's a good question.
Give me. Anyone got any ideas?
Maybe
What's
Land
a
Down
good
Under.
song?
Just go with it.
Land Down Under. You reckon?
What would get the pop is Bad Bunny just came out with a new song.
Which one? Sorry.
If Bad Bunny, you're saying Bad Bunny with his new album here in Miami,
You're right. That would pop off.
Fire right now.
Better get that lyrics down, Pat. Yeah. See how we go. Hey.
Diego, right here. Obviously, the big story of this fight week has been like your rapid rise to the top. It wasn't that long ago that you were making your debut on short notice, and you even said in that countdown piece, it was like, you might not know who I am now, but you will soon. So I guess how's fight week been, knowing that you're only a few days away from fighting for this belt on a rapid rise to the title?
A história da semana é a tua ascensão rápida aqui, né? Como tudo aconteceu tão rápido, desde aquela luta de última hora e até ter um negócio no countdown falando que você dizendo que todo mundo ia saber quem você é. Como é que tem sido essa semana da luta, visto esse curto tempo que você teve para chegar até aqui?
I think it's the crazy journey for this time, right? But I work too much. This week is the most important for my life because I have my whole team here with me. Yeah, the energy for the tournament for the team is so great. I feel amazing.
Last year, you were fighting very frequently between fights. You had, fought June, fought September. Even before that, you fought a 300, and you've had a bit of time off now. So, physically, how are you feeling after being able to take some time off after such a busy 2024?
No, my physique is amazing. This training camp is so long, 3 months. The training camp. I have everything for this camp. My body is healthy. No injuries. Nothing. Only a good shape.
And what do you make of where Volkanovski is at this point in his career? Because I think he was the champion when you debuted, but where do you think he is in terms of his career now?
Onde você acha que o Volkanovski está agora em termos da carreira dele? Porque ele era o campeão quando você estreou, né?
Sim, eu acho que ele vai tentar pegar essa última corrida, né? Vai tentar aproveitar isso. Ele tomou também um ano de descanso, então acho que ele vai vir na melhor forma possível para tentar recuperar o título e tentar ser 2 vezes campeão, né? Mas a gente está aqui.
I think he's going to try to take advantage of this last run for the title. He took some time off, and I believe he's going to come in his best shape to try to win the belt back and be the champion again.
And earlier today, a big piece on you by Guilherme Cruz came out about your time, like moving to Mexico, and you and Alessandro fighting for food and just fighting to survive and just fighting to eat. Basically, weren't really thinking of the belt yet. So, have you thought of what it would be like to get the belt and like give it to not just him, but just your entire team that was there for you and they're still there now?
Saiu a matéria do Guilherme Cruz falando do teu tempo lá quando chegou no México, lutando para comer basicamente e tal. Você já pensou como é que vai ser poder dar esse cinturão para o Alessandro, para todo mundo da tua equipe, todo mundo que te ajudou lá atrás?
100%. I think Alessandro is the most person important in my career. As this guy lived with me is the 10 years. In my life, in the life of Alessandro, happy many things. Dificuldades? Como que muitas dificuldades.
A lot of difficulties.
A lot of
struggles.
difficulties too with Alessandro. Yeah, bro. I mean, me and Alessandro have one promise now. Bro, go to the whole events. I need to be champion in my division. You need to be champion division too. Me and Alessandro make this 2 times in Mexico. Now is the goal is in UFC. Now I have my opportunity. I hope Alessandro soon have a opportunity for fight for the rank too. Is the guy stay in the money fights for the title too.
If you win the belt, will it feel like you're winning the belt for both of you? Because I mean, when Bilal fought in Manchester and he won, he said it felt like he was also winning with his coach who had been there from the beginning as well. So I'm curious if you feel the same way.
Você acha que você vai ganhar o cinturão por vocês dois? Porque ele deu o exemplo do Belal quando ganhou o cinturão. Ele falou que sentia que era dele e do treinador dele.
100%. Trust me, this is my goal.
Diego, tudo bom? Queria que você falasse um pouquinho dessa luta, o que significa para você, mandar um recado para todo mundo do Brasil que tá torcendo por você, que acredita que você vai trazer esse cinturão para o Brasil. E voltando um pouquinho lá atrás, de uma conversa que a gente teve, que você ficava escondidinho na hora do almoço, não tinha o que comer, e como é que essa virada merecida na tua vida, e só desejar uma boa luta para você.
Posso falar ou você vai traduzir?
Não, pode falar.
Ok.
Não sei se ele quer traduzir.
Sim. Pô, cara, é um sentimento muito bom, né? Imagina, lá atrás a gente passava por tanta dificuldade e tá aqui agora numa boa posição dentro do UFC, lutando pelo cinturão, é muito satisfatório, entendeu? É muito satisfatório porque isso só demonstra que com trabalho duro, esforço e sacrifício você pode conquistar todas as coisas que você quiser, né? Tipo, uma coisa que eu tenho falado bastante é que todos nós temos uma oportunidade. Todos nós temos uma oportunidade, mas vai de cada pessoa saber o que fazer com essa oportunidade, porque muitas pessoas recebem uma oportunidade boa e não sabem aproveitar e acaba perdendo e acaba ficando para trás na sua vida, na sua carreira, em várias coisas, né? Então, pô, eu tô muito feliz, cara. Tô muito feliz, na verdade, porque todo o sacrifício que eu tenho feito tá dando certo e nada, só a galera do Brasil, a galera de Manaus principalmente, lá do meu bairro onde eu moro, no Mutirão, pode sempre esperar o melhor de mim, né? A galera me conhece, sabe como eu sou e vamos para cima.
A question about, basically the journey that led him over here. And it's very gratifying to be here. A lot of struggles along the way. And, I've been saying a lot that everyone gets opportunities, and it's really up to each person to figure out how to take advantage of that opportunity. So that's what I'm trying to do now. And I want to go in there and put on a great fight and do good for this opportunity. And I know that everyone in my hometown, in Manaus, in my neighborhood, everyone knows what I'm capable of and that I can deliver.
Diego, right here to your right. Right here. There we go. Talking about that journey, obviously there was the setback on the Contender Series, going back to the regionals, get a couple of wins, come back to the UFC on short notice, face Mavsar. If someone back then had said, you're going to fight for a title in just a couple of years, would you have believed them?
Falando dessa jornada ainda voltando lá no Container, né? Que você sofreu aquele revés, voltou para lutar no circuito regional, aí entrou de última hora. Se alguém te dissesse lá atrás que você estaria lutando pelo título, você acreditaria?
Acho que depois das 2 derrotas que eu tive consecutiva, definitivamente não. Acho que ninguém acreditava em mim, nem como posso falar, nem as pessoas acho que mais próximas a mim podia ter um dia estar imaginando isso, né? Mas eu sempre acreditei em mim mesmo, acreditei no meu empresário, no meu irmão Alessandro. Teve momentos que eu estava desanimado ali, mas eles me empurraram para chegar até onde eu estou agora.
I think after back-to-back losses, I definitely didn't imagine it, and honestly, I don't think anyone believed in me at that point. But thankfully, I listened to my manager, I listened to my brother Alessandro, and just kind of kept motivating myself to keep moving forward.
And obviously, here you are, 5-round title fight, main event. How much of a factor is those 5 rounds? I know you fought 5 rounds outside of the UFC. It was a little while ago. Was that a big part of your training camp, focusing on the cardio and endurance?
A questão dos 5 rounds, já lutou 5 rounds fora do UFC, né? Mas isso é um negócio nessa luta, isso é um fator importante nessa luta. Tá preparado para 5 rounds?
Yeah, I'm prepared for 5 rounds, but I prepared for finish the fight. No, I think como que nenhum lutador.
No fighter.
No fighters they prepared for fight every fight for 5 rounds, right? Everybody training for finish this fight. This is my goal. Of course, I prepared for 5 rounds, but my goal for this fight is finish.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Diego, aquí en español, 2 preguntas en una. Felicidades y buenas tardes. ¿Qué se siente en este momento tener la oportunidad de luchar por un título mundial, el sueño de cualquier peleador, 1? Y 2, la pregunta siguiente, hacerlo contra una leyenda como Alexander Volkanovski?
No, pues pelear por el título es algo increíble, ¿no? Yo creo que todo peleador sueña con eso, ¿no? De un día pelear por el título, ya sea de una empresa y pues más de UFC, ¿no? Entonces yo creo que para mí es algo increíble. He trabajado mucho para ese momento, he estado aquí durante muchos años desde mi carrera. Dentro do UFC são pouco tempo, pero afuera de ahí são muchos años trabajando duro, ¿no? Y hacerlo frente a Volkanovski, que es un peleador legendario dentro de la división, pues es algo que me motiva aún más.
Y ahí dijiste de que eres resultado del trabajo, lo estabas diciendo en portugués. ¿Sientes que has llegado a este momento, a esta oportunidad, como resultado de tu trabajo en tu carrera, en todo y en UFC?
Sí, definitivamente, ¿no? Yo creo que pues he hecho de todo, ¿no? He hecho de todo pues para tener las oportunidades que tengo ahora. Y pues sí, trabajo duro pues es lo que me ha traído aquí.
Muchas gracias, buena suerte.
Gracias.
Diego, right here. Last night it came out some news that Aaron Pico had signed with the UFC. I just wanted to get your reaction. Obviously, if you're the champion, there'll be some work for him to do, but what do you think of him joining this division?
Anunciaram ontem que o Aaron Pico entrou para o UFC, né? Você, como campeão, óbvio que ele vai ter que cavalgar para chegar até lá, mas o que você acha dele nessa categoria?
I think Aaron Pico is a good fighter. This guy is good wrestling, good box too. I think he's a great for division, not for the renew the division now.
Yeah, and there were some rumors that he might be fighting Movsar. That doesn't look like it's happening now. Are you glad that it seems like maybe they're saving Movsar for you to fight if you win?
Estavam falando que ele talvez ia lutar com o Movsar, mas parece que não vai rolar isso. Você fica feliz que pelo menos abre o plano para você lutar com o Movsar?
Pois acho que ninguém quer ver o Movsar lutar, né? Então, porque o cara tem muito tempo aí esperando, então vamos ver o que vai acontecer. Na verdade que meu foco agora é lutar pelo cinturão, ganhar o cinturão, e se o UFC fala, você vai lutar com o Movsar, a gente luta com ele.
It feels like nobody wants to watch him fight because he's been waiting for so long, but my focus right now is on winning and winning the belt, and if it's the case to fight him, then we'll look into it.
Diego, aquí en español. Estás peleando en Miami y acá hay una mezcolanza muy grande de hispanos y de brasileros, y obviamente tú tienes una audiencia muy interesante porque unes a Brasil con Hispanoamérica. ¿Te has sentido en casa y piensas que este sábado vas a pelear en casa?
Pues yo creo que puede ser que sí, ¿no? Hay muchos, como menciona, hay muchos brasileños, hay muchos latinoamericanos también. Y es algo que me motiva porque el año pasado he peleado en Las Vegas. Yo sé que hay mucha comunidad de habla hispana allá también, pero yo creo que acá en Miami es donde he escuchado que más gente de habla hispana es donde hay, ¿no? Entonces, definitivamente, pues voy a sentir que estoy peleando pues, para mi gente, ¿no?
Sí. Y cuando dices que te ves y te preparas para finalizar a Volkanovski, ¿dónde crees que eso es lo más posible? ¿Será noquearlo? Hemos visto que en sus últimas peleas él ha sido noqueado. ¿O será buscar el suelo? Que pues muy bueno en el suelo él, pero pues sabemos que tú eres muy peligroso en esa área.
Pues yo creo que cualquier una de las dos oportunidades que aparezca primero, ¿no? Yo creo que tengo las manos pues pesadas pues para mandarlo pues para abajo, pero también mi jiu-jitsu es muy peligroso, ¿no? Tanto por abajo quanto por arriba. Y pues hemos visto que, obvio, pues no, nadie lo ha finalizado con jiu-jitsu, tiene muy buenas defensas, pero hemos visto cómo caen submisiones, ¿no? Entonces yo creo que yo solo ocupo una oportunidad para finalizar.
Y última pregunta, vimos que Ilia Topuria cuando ganó el título rápidamente se entró a la conversación de los mejores de la historia de la 145 con un par de peleas por qué tan contundente fueron sus victorias. ¿Te ves haciendo lo mismo? ¿Crees que después del sábado y como peleas de pronto estés en esas conversaciones y te ves en eso?
Pues yo creo que todavía me falta un poco de camino, no voy a mentir, me falta un poco de camino simplemente por el récord que tengo, por el poco tiempo que tengo dentro del UFC y por cómo se han dado las cosas en mi carrera, ¿no? Yo creo que eso el tiempo lo va a decir, ¿no? Yo voy a trabajar pues para que un día pues sea considerado uno de los mejores de la división.
Oye, y te anda molestando por el pelo, ¿no? ¿Crees que está celoso o qué?
¿A quién? ¿Volkanovski?
Sí.
Ah, pues él no tiene. Yo sí.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Diego, first of all, congratulations. Your English has improved so much in the last year or two, but now you're up against an Australian, listening to an Australian speak with an Australian accent. Just how difficult is that to the English that you were trying to learn?
Primeiro, parabéns, seu inglês melhorou muito. Mas agora você vai lutar com um australiano, inglês da Austrália, né? Isso dificulta para você?
Yeah, the last year I have many travels. I listen different people speak English different in France, in Macau, in Australia. Yeah, now is that my mind is open for you need to learn more English because it's the many people speak different, you know.
Yeah, I think that if I was to learn Spanish, it wouldn't go very well. So, thanks, mate.
Thank you.